Day 18 of the 5th month, according to Scripture. All right? Again, grace and peace. Here at 1 West, Tampa, 10921 North 56th Street, Suite 258. Classes Monday through Friday, 7:30 p.m. until. All right? Brother Malak, we're going to bring out a good class tonight.
All right, we're just doing a little simple law class, right? Just going over Deuteronomy chapter 8. Right, so first we're gonna start off with alabaster box, right? Like the brother said, this day 16. No, it said 18. 18, right? Something went down there. Day 18, 5th month. 1 West, Tampa, Israelites. Trying to keep it short and simple. We're just going to constantly deal with the law and try to, just go briefly into laws. Stay in the law, statutes, commandments, the whole duty of man. Ecclesiastes 12, verse 13. That's where we want to stay. Stay grounded at in them laws. All right, bro, you got it. Go ahead. Open it up.
All right, we'll open it up at St. Matthew, chapter 26 and verse 6. Now, when Jesus was in Bethany, in the house of Simon the leper, there came unto him a woman having an alabaster box of very precious ointment, and poured it on his head as he sat at meat. But when his disciples saw it, they had indignation, saying, To what purpose is this waste? For this ointment might have been sold for much and given to the poor. When Jesus understood it, he said unto them, Why trouble ye the woman? For she had wrought a good work upon me. For ye have the poor always with you, but me ye have not always. For in that she hath poured this ointment on my body, she did it for my burial. Verily I say unto you, wheresoever this gospel shall be preached in the whole world, there shall also this, that this woman hath done, be told for a memorial of her.
All right, this woman, we're going to continue to bring out every time we bring out these scriptures for the good work she had, the good work she had done under Christ by anointing him for his burial. We should keep her we should bring this out as a memorial, right? And also bring out Christ. All right, so we're going into let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 8.
It's all good. Okay. Starting in Deuteronomy chapter 8. Okay, and if anyone has a 1611 King James Bible, we have some of them have a caption right up at the top. Since we go into chapters, we read this caption up top of Deuteronomy chapter 8. There's an exhortation to obedience in regard of God's dealing with them.
Right.
All right, basically that's what this Deuteronomy chapter 8 is a highlight of. All right, Deuteronomy chapter 8 verse 1. All the commandments which I command thee this day shall ye observe to do, that ye may live and multiply and go in and possess the land which the Lord sware unto your fathers.
Read that again.
Deuteronomy chapter 8 verse 1. All the commandments.
How many?
All the commandments.
One more time.
All the commandments.
Go ahead.
Which I command thee this day shall ye observe to do, that ye may live and multiply and go in and possess the land which the Lord sware unto your fathers.
All right, so he said all the commandments which I command thee. Who was the which I command thee? Moses. By the hand of Moses. The Lord commanded Moses to give us all these commands, and he did, in order, you know what I'm saying? And it says that ye may live and multiply and go and possess the land. That's the only way we was going to live, by keeping all his commandments. Right. And that was the only way we was going to go and possess the land which the Lord God sware unto our fathers, and that's the only way we was going to multiply as a people, right? If we do all his commandments, right?
Right.
But it's just one thing I want to address, right? So if we have to keep all the commandments, let's go to Exodus 20 real quick, man. You know what I'm saying? We got to get that right, man. So it can't be no running. It can't be no we're going to get it right when we cross that bridge, when Christ comes. We got to we got to understand that we got to get this right now, right? We done did plenty of videos on it, right? About the Sabbath at its appointed time.
Holy Sabbath.
Right? Not when you want to keep the Sabbath, right? On a Saturday because it's convenient, but at its appointed time, according to Sirach 43:6 and Leviticus 23. You know what I'm saying? Leviticus 23, right?
Right.
But at its appointed time, right? Let's go to you know what I want, bro. Chapter 20 and what is it? 20 and 9.
Yeah, the book of Exodus.
Start at 8.
Exodus chapter 20, verse 8. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work.
So after the new moon, according to Ezekiel 46:1, after the new moon day, you got 6 days, you shall do your labor. Go ahead.
And do all thy work.
And do all your work. You shall. Ain't no maybe or choose whatever day you want to do your labor on, and then choose whatever day you want to have your Sabbath on. No, it says 6 days thou shalt thou labor and do all thy work. Go ahead.
Verse 10, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates.
Right. So it said, I understand, it said 6 days shall I labor, and on the seventh day, this is where people get confused. The seventh day shall be the Sabbath, right? It doesn't mention new moon day, chief day, day one. It doesn't mention that. You know what I'm saying? It says 6 days. Let's go to Ezekiel 46. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm making a statement. I got to back it up.
Right.
I got to back it up. All right? Well, let's start at Sirach. I'm sorry about that. 43.
Sirach. We're in the book of Sirach, chapter 43.
Right? We got to get it right. He said, all these commandments shall we keep in order to multiply, go into the land, right? And what else he said? Let me go back real quick. Multiply, go in, and possess the land which he swore unto our fathers, and to live, right? In order to live. Because, hey, back in those times, if you didn't keep the Sabbath, right? Just like the man who got caught picking up sticks on the Sabbath, he got put to death. Right? So, hey, if you want to live, or if you want to enter into eternal life, you got to keep all the commandments, right? So we got to keep it at its appointed time. We can't just cross that bridge whenever come on. We'll get it right. You know what I'm saying? We got grace. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna rehearse, so-called rehearse the righteous acts until Christ come, and then He'll set us in order. Nah, bruh. Christ coming back with fire, man. So we got to get that right, man, in order to possess the land which He swore unto our fathers. Right? We're going all the way back to the beginning of the book, Deuteronomy, the 8th chapter, right? Right. And we're going to deal with this, man. And we're going to constantly sweat this issue, man. Because we need to get it right as a nation of people.
Exactly.
Ain't no running, man. Ain't no sweeping up under the rug, man, and just doing your own for your own convenience, right? Mm-hmm. Because you on the plantation. Hey, I work on the plantation too, right? But then I'm gonna have to. Now I'm still trying to look to see how can I start my own business to get off the plantation, right? So I can keep it, right? Most I said, but am I keeping it every at its appointed time every month? It's hard sometimes, man, because you know what I'm saying. I gotta feed my family. I got bills to pay. You know what I'm saying?
Man, you captured.
White man ain't. I'm landing my captivity. White man ain't gonna let me take it off when I want to, because the Sabbath to fall on different days as you know what I'm saying, at different right how it sets, right, on different pagan days, right, according to how it falls each month. So yeah, man, let's go to Sirach 43. Let's go to Sirach 43 and 6, right?
We're in the book of Sirach, chapter 43, Sirach and Apocrypha, chapter 43, verse 6. He made the moon also to serve in her season.
Right, he made the moon to serve in her season, right? Go ahead.
For a declaration of times.
For a declaration of times. Appointed time. Go ahead.
And a sign of the world.
Go ahead.
From the moon is a sign of feast.
From the moon is a sign of feast. The word feast is in Hebrew is moedim, meaning appointed time. From the moon is a sign of appointed times. Go ahead.
A light that decreaseth in her perfection.
Okay, a light that decreases in her perfection, right? Go ahead.
Verse 8. The month is called after her name.
The month is called after her name. So at the beginning of the month, it's new moon day. The month is called after the moon. Go ahead.
Increasing wonderfully in her changing.
Right, increasing wonderfully in her changing, right? Dark moon, 100% dark moon, and increasing wonderfully. That's it on that, right? Let's go to Leviticus 23, because one statement it made was from the moon is the sign of feast. It's the sign of appointed times.
Right.
Right? From the moon is the sign of appointed time. But Exodus chapter 20, verse 8 and 9, it didn't bring out the new moon. It didn't say anything about the new moon, right? So we can't just say, okay, 6 days, it's a simple 6 day, 7 day count. You know what I'm saying? 6 days you should labor, and on the 7th day, okay, that's your Sabbath. No, you didn't include new moon. What about new moon? It said from the moon is the beginning of the month.
First day of the month.
Right, that's the first day of the month. Read what you got right over there. And it said the moon is the a sign of feast. Moedim, appointed time. Read.
We're in the book of Leviticus chapter 23, verse 1. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them,
Say unto them what?
Concerning the feasts of the Lord.
Concerning the appointed times of the Lord. Let's find out. Let's go, keep going.
Which ye shall proclaim to be holy convocations.
Which ye shall claim to be holy convocations.
Even
my holy convocations. Even what?
Even these are my feasts.
And that's what he said. Look, he verified it. Even these are my feasts. Which was the first one? What's the first one, brother?
Verse 3, 6 days shall work be done.
6 days shall work be done. Okay, those are 6 working days, but what?
But the 7th day is the Sabbath of rest.
But the 7th day is the Sabbath of rest. So you got 6 days that you can labor, and on that 7th day, after those 6 days which you labored, is the 7th of rest, right? Okay, it still didn't mention new moon, right? Now we're finna go into it. Let's get Ezekiel 46 and 1. Ezekiel 46 and 1. Because back in Sirach, it said, from the moon is the beginning of months, right? And that's where the word month get its name from, moon. Go ahead.
We're in the book of Ezekiel chapter 46 verse 1. Thus saith the Lord God, thus saith the Lord God.
Not me and you, right?
Right.
Okay, go ahead.
Thus saith the Lord God, the gate of the inner court that looketh toward the east shall be shut the 6 working days.
Okay, this gate that looketh toward the inner court shall be shut. The 6 what?
6 working days.
So those 6 working days that Exodus 20 and 8 and 9 was talking about, those 6 working days that Leviticus 23 was talking about, that gate was going to be shut those days, right? But read.
But on the Sabbath it shall be open.
On the Sabbath it shall be open, and what else, bro?
And in the day of the new moon.
And in the day of the new moon, this gate shall be open that looketh toward the inner court, right? On the Sabbath and on the new moon, this gate shall be open. You cannot exclude Chief Day, the new moon day. You cannot exclude that day, because it's the beginning of months, according to Sirach, according to Ezekiel. Let's go to Numbers 10 and 10, bro. What else mentions new moon day as the beginning of the month?
We're in the book of Numbers, chapter 10, verse 10. Also in the day of your gladness and in your solemn days.
So we supposed to be glad on all holy convocation day. This should be a day of gladness, right?
Right.
But brothers glad in their pagan day. They're glad on their Saturday worship, right? Pagan days, man. But it's time to let's get this right, man. Let's get this right. Go ahead.
And in the beginning of your months.
In the beginning of what?
and in the beginnings of your months.
Your months, plural. Not in 1 month. This is not talking about the 7th month, blowing of the trumpet. This is talking about the beginning of your months with an S, plural.
Go ahead. It says beginnings of your months.
The beginnings of your months. Go ahead.
Ye shall blow with the trumpets over your burnt offerings.
So everybody should, it said ye shall. Everybody should have a trumpet. Blowing over their burnt offerings, because that's the day you can cook, right? Right? It's not a Sabbath, but it's dictated as one because you can't do no labor in that day. That's why it's, you know what I'm saying, it says new moon. That's why we say new moon day, chief day, which you can cook, you know what I'm saying, and have a holy convocation, and then your 6 working days comes after the new moon. That's when your 6 work days come, and then the 7th day is the Sabbath of rest, which gives you the 8th day according to the biblical breakdown of the calendar.
8th day of the month.
8th day of the month, right? Read it again, bro. Start over from the top.
Numbers chapter 10, verse 10. Also in the day of your gladness, and in your solemn days, and in the beginnings of your months, ye shall blow with the trumpets over your burnt offerings, and over the sacrifices of your peace offerings, that they may be to you for a memorial before your God. I am the Lord your God.
Right. It's going to be for a memorial. A memorial is how long? A memorial is how long? We just read back in Matthew 26 and 6, right? Back in Matthew 26, every time this gospel come out, is that we shall bring out this woman as a memorial throughout our generations, bro. We're still generating. We get the memorials everlasting, bro.
Right.
You like memorabilia. You memorialize on it, man.
Right.
Right. So, hey, it's new moon day, which is day 1. Then you got your 6 work days. Then you got the Sabbath. That's the 8th day. The Sabbath on the 8th day. It's not just 6 work days in the Sabbath. That's where people get mixed up at, man. They're not counting chief day, new moon day. It's day 1. Then the next day is day 2. The next day is day 3. Next day is day 4. Next day is day 5. Day 6. Day 7. And then your Sabbath. You know what I'm saying? People ain't understanding that. It's a 7-day count. It's always been the same. No, man. But let's go back to Deuteronomy chapter 8. Let's go back into the lesson. All right? I just wanted to stress that, man, because that's serious, man.
Right.
It starts from the top, bro.
Deuteronomy chapter 8, verse 1. All the commandments.
How many?
All the commandments.
That 4th commandment too, man. That 4th commandment, keeping the Sabbath. It said all the commandments, read.
Which I command thee this day.
Which the Most High command us these days by the hand of Moses. Go ahead.
Shall ye observe to do, that ye may live.
Shall ye. You shall observe to do, man. Observe. Not just read it for what it says and it's, you know what I'm saying, get your own understanding. Say ye shall observe. You got to observe what? You got to observe the ordinance. Hey, how you going to be a watchman and a seer? He called us watchmen and seers and you ain't observing nothing, right?
Right.
What you ain't observing nothing. Oh, no. Let me say this again. Some brothers, I'm not throwing shots, man. So before brothers get in their feelings, don't get all in your feelings, man. I'm not throwing shots. I'm just saying, let's get this right, man. We stress this issue. We trying to get up out of this captivity, right? We're watchmen and seers. How you gonna be a watchman and a seer and not observe? You gotta observe, right? You observe the new moon, right? With no trumpet, you don't blow your trumpet on the new moon, and then you go right back to the pagan calendar, right? Which is, and say Saturday is the Sabbath. All right, come on, man. Read it again, bro.
Deuteronomy chapter 8, verse 1. All the commandments which I command thee this day shall ye observe to do.
Shall ye observe to do. Go ahead.
That ye may live.
That ye may what?
That ye may live.
That's the only way you're going to live, man. You got to do all the commandments. Go ahead.
And multiply.
And multiply. Go ahead.
And go in and possess the land which the Lord sware unto your fathers.
And that's how you going. Hey, that's how you gonna get the kingdom. You can't be off on just that one commandment and think you're gonna get in.
Right.
You can't be off on that one commandment, bro, and think you're gonna get in, man. Hey, the kingdom ain't coming to Babylon. Babylon got to be destroyed, man.
Right.
America got to be destroyed
first.
A lot of people think that the kingdom gonna be established over here, man, in America. You know what I'm saying? And they might just get a glimpse of the kingdom. No, man. You got to get it right, man, in order to possess the land which the Lord swear unto your father. What land is that? That's Jerusalem, man.
Right.
New Jerusalem. All right, bro. I'm done talking about it now. Let's go ahead.
Verse 2. And thou shalt remember all the way which the Lord thy God led thee these 40 years in the wilderness, to humble thee and to prove thee.
Right, to humble thee and prove thee, right? And that's what he's doing still to this day. He's still to this day trying to humble us and prove us what? Prove us what, bro?
To know what was in thine heart.
To know what's in your heart, man. Whether you're evil and wicked, or you have a humble, righteous spirit to try to follow in his ways. Read.
Whether thou wouldest keep his commandments.
Okay, it's finna stress it right now. It's finna tell you whether you what.
Whether thou wouldest keep his commandments or no.
Whether you gonna keep his commandments or no. You know what I'm saying? That's what he doing these days. The Most High is. I know we're waking up at a phenomenal rate, and we can't expect everybody to get it real quick. Sooner, like I got it. You know what I'm saying? Kind of quick when the brothers brought it out, right? I can't expect everybody to get it quick, but hey, man, we need to make haste, man. And the Most High is proving you, man. I'm not gonna keep stressing it. I bring it out a couple times. Hey, man, if you don't get it, you don't get it. The Most High God is proving you, though, whether you will keep all of His commandments or no.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He know what to do with you. He made vessels unto honor and vessels unto dishonor. Let's get that. Can we get that real quick? He made vessels unto honor and vessels unto dishonor, man. Right. Meaning, his brothers in the truth. It might not get in, bro. With their fringes, you can have fringes on. You can have sisters with head wraps and modest apparel. Maybe not gonna get in, man. Why? Because they ain't trying to keep all the commandments. You know what I'm saying? He's proving us whether we're gonna keep all His commandments or no. You know what I'm saying? Whether you want to get to the land which He swore unto your fathers or no. Whether you want to live or no. Or, you know what I'm saying? Death. Whether you want to multiply as a nation or just be, or just you just down with just your camp that you in, right? Or you down with just the gang you're in. I ain't gonna say camps because I don't want brothers get offended and get all in their damn feelings, man. But we crying loud over here, sparing not, man. Isaiah 58:1. You know what I'm saying? But hey, man. Yeah, man. So the Most High is proving us whether we will obey, keep His commandments or no, right? So, what I said?
Vessels for this.
Yeah, right. He made vessels unto honor and vessels unto dishonor.
I can't find that one right
now. I find it. Read verse 2 again, bro.
Verse 2, Deuteronomy chapter 8, verse 2. And thou shalt remember all the way which the Lord thy God led thee these 40 years in the wilderness, to humble thee and to prove thee, to know what was in thine heart, whether thou wouldest keep His commandments or no.
Whether you will keep His commandments or no. So the Most High is proving us, man.
Right.
So we gotta watch what. Hey, we gotta play close attention and observe to do all His commandments. If we're watchmen and seers, right? If we're watchmen and seers, we have to, you know what I'm saying, observe the ordinance, you know what I'm saying, which is the new moon, right? Keep that, to get that holy Sabbath, right? All right. I don't think I'm gonna find it, but it's all good. We're gonna keep going. Let's continue with the lesson. Let's go to the 3.
Deuteronomy chapter 8, verse 3. And He humbled thee and suffered thee to hunger, and fed thee with manna,
right,
which thou knewest not.
He humbled thee and suffered thee to hunger, right, and fed thee with manna. Go ahead.
Which thou knewest not, neither did thy fathers know.
Right. This time they was in the wilderness, and brothers and sisters was murmuring against the Lord, saying He brought us out of the land of Egypt just to starve us to death and kill us, right? But the Most High was proving them to see whether they still have faith in Him and believe in Him, who led them out by Egypt. He just split the damn Red Sea for them, right? Showed them all type of miracles and wonders, right? And He wanted to root, and what He was doing is rooting out the damn the wicked. He was rooting them out and all the murmurers. That's what He was doing. He was proving them. That's another example, man. Go ahead, bro.
I'll start from Deuteronomy 20, verse 3. And he humbled thee and suffered thee to hunger, and fed thee with manna, which thou knewest not, neither did thy fathers know, that he might make thee know that man doeth not live by bread only, but by every word that proceeded out of the mouth of the Lord doeth man live.
Right. And so, yeah. So, man don't live by just bread alone. He was proving them to show them that man don't just live by bread alone, but they live by every word, meaning his commandments, right?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You ain't just gonna get a free ride and just fill your damn belly, man. That's what he basically saying. You know what I'm saying? He gonna feed you, but yeah, hey man, you gonna obey his law, statutes, commandments too. Right?
Right.
And then most brothers ain't gonna get it, man. And they don't. Let's get it's Romans 9:21. Romans 9:21, right?
We're in the book of Romans, chapter 9, and verse 21.
Right? We don't run nothing, man. We can't establish our own righteousness, right? And try to establish our own Sabbath day, right?
Right.
We got to keep it at its appointed time.
Appointed time.
Right? According to the Most High, that's the only way you're gonna be obedient to the Most High. You got to follow His will. Go ahead, read it, bro.
We're in the book of Romans, chapter 9, verse 21. Have not the potter power over the clay?
Have not the potter? Who is the potter? The Most High. He shaped us and formed us with his hands, right? Have not the potter power over the clay? Go ahead.
Of the same lump, to make one vessel unto honor, and another unto dishonor.
So we know everybody ain't gonna get it. You know what I'm saying? He's proving it. He's proving thee whether you're gonna keep his commandments or no. So he made one vessel unto honor and another unto dishonor, right?
Right.
Just like you got, hey, you might be a person that loves shoes, right? You buy so many shoes, right? But you only love one. You know what I'm saying? One shoe that you love the most, a pair of shoes, right? And it's a shoe that you dislike the most, right? But you still bought it. They're still yours, right? So he got it. The same with the Most High. He made a vessel unto honor and a vessel unto dishonor. And this goes with other nations too, right? He made other nations, right? But he made Israel also.
Right.
The nation of Israel unto honor and these other nations unto dishonor, right? It goes the same with his nation of people, right? He got those, because he's going to have a small remnant. He ain't going to choose all of Israel. He's going to choose a small remnant.
1/3.
Right. 1/3. Right? The ones that he honored. And the ones that he dishonored is going to be the 2/3. So we ain't expecting everybody to get it. We ain't expecting everybody to jump on our coattail and jump aboard Israel, One West Israelite School. You know what I'm saying? We ain't trying to recruit nobody. Right? But if brothers want to come and sit down with brothers and study, you know what I'm saying, and go through these scriptures, man, to get some understanding, man, we willing to each one teach one, right?
Right.
Iron sharpens iron. That's basically what we telling brothers, right? You know what I'm saying? Look at the scriptures brothers bring out. Don't just look at what the brothers saying, like, you know what I'm saying, when they getting all hype in the videos and because they oppressing, right? Surely oppression make a wise man mad, right?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Surely oppression make a wise man mad. Brothers trying to get up out of here, man. The way they express themselves, don't just look at that matter. Look at the scriptures. Did you get the message? Edification, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because the Most High is proving our people whether to see if we're going to do all his commandments or no. And we love brothers just that much to try to share this information. We ain't trying to tuck in and hide. We ain't hiding that shepherd. You know what I'm saying? That talent. Like Christ said, we ain't hiding that talent, man. We bringing it out on the table. It's for free, right?
Right.
Freely shall we receive, freely shall we give. Let's go back to Deuteronomy 8. And go back to, let's start at verse 4.
Deuteronomy chapter 8, verse 4. Thy raiment waxed not old upon thee, neither did thy foot swell these 40 years.
Right. Thy raiment waxed not old upon thee, neither did thy foot swell. So that's how much the Most High loved us. We were walking in the wilderness from 40 well, not constantly walking. We did rest on the Sabbath, and we was doing our work and everything on those 6 days. But our foot did not swell. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Not like these days, you would be at work 8 hours a day, man, feet hurting, man. Hurting bad, too. Mine be hurting. You know what I'm saying? Curse is still upon our people. We're in captivity. And our raiment waxed not old upon us, man. We didn't have tore down clothes, man. But still, our people were so spoiled by the Egyptian customs and everything. They murmured against the Most High, and they were so ungrateful, right? Same thing going on today, right? We ain't getting beat like our ancestors. We ain't getting hung. We ain't getting, you know what I'm saying? We ain't right. We ain't working doing free labor, right? Mm-hmm. Like our ancestors. The Most High eased up a little bit, showed us a little mercy. The yokes of iron came off our neck, and our people, you know what I'm saying? Oh man, even those in the truth, man, we think we got it made, right?
Right.
But the Most High is proving us. He's still proving us. He eased off us a little bit, right, with his anger and wrath. So we feel we getting a little too comfortable in Babylon, man. You know what I'm saying? Let's go to Nehemiah 9:21. Get a precept on that, man.
We're in the book of Nehemiah, chapter 9, and verse 21.
Hey, you know the Most High gonna bring. Hey, you know he's a brother. You know the Most High ain't no white man. He gonna let you know what he did for you. You know, ain't that what brothers do this day? Hey man, I gave you this, man. I gave you, you know what I'm saying? I remember I did this for you, man. You can't do that for me. They gonna let you.
Let you know, remind
you of what they did for you. All praise to the Most High though, man.
Yeah. Nehemiah chapter 9, verse 21. Yeah, 40 years didst thou sustain them in the wilderness, so that they lacked nothing.
Right, they lacked nothing. He sustained us in the wilderness 40 years that we lacked nothing. I mean, we was always on point with garments, which is our raiment, right? On point with where we had a place to stay. You know what I'm saying? Even though we dwelt in booths and tents, right? Mm-hmm. It was kept up good, man. The camp was clean because anything we went outside the camp to do. Right. When you had to do number one and number two, you had to go outside the camp. You couldn't do that inside the camp. Right? Most High gave us, man. Go ahead, bro. Go ahead. Oh, that's it with 9:21? What he said?
I'm here.
What's it?
Yeah. Nehemiah 9 verse 21.
False doctrine. I don't want to see you perish. Please contact IGIC. How about you contact us, brother? How about you contact us? We're at 109 21 North 56th Street, Suite 258. Come and show us the true doctrine, bro. Right. You know what I'm saying? Come and show us the true doctrine. We ain't finna sit on the phone and break it down with you. You know what I'm saying? Come and show us, man. We're in Tampa, Florida. Address right here. IGIC. I don't even know what camp that is, man. But how is that dealing with false doctrine? We going through Deuteronomy chapter 8. What you seen some old videos? You know what I'm saying? Specify what you're talking about, bro, so we can help you out. Specify what false doctrine you done heard so we can help you out, bro. What do you say? IGIC. Let's see what this brother.
I don't live in Florida.
Okay, what false doctrine you talking about? Be specific, bro. Be specific on what false doctrine you talking about. What video you talking about?
Right. Say real quick, we teach who the Israelites are, the nationality and heritage, being the law, statutes, and commandments, and there's a biblical calendar, a 30-day calendar, right, which the moon has appointed. Right. As per Sirach.
I don't even know if you're talking about that. You talking out your neck. You gotta be more specific, bro. Right?
That's your strong reason. 3. So what false doctrine? Yes. Why, oh, I trust in the flesh. Well,
what is it? Why, oh, I trust in the flesh?
Yes. You trust in the flesh.
Man, you talking out the side of your
neck,
man.
Email or phone, please.
Email. No, man, you talking out the side of your neck. I want to know what false doctrine you talking about, man. Let's deal with it right now. Let's deal with it right now, man.
Yeah, what false doctrine?
What false doctrine are you talking about? We're finna continue with our lesson, man. We ain't finna let you hold us up, man. You dealing with you build very carnally right now, man. Let's go ahead, bro.
Nehemiah chapter 9 verse 21. Yeah, 40 years didst thou sustain them in the wilderness.
Right.
so that they lack nothing. Their clothes wax not old, and their feet swelled not.
Right. That's a precept of Deuteronomy 8, chapter 4th verse, right?
Right.
All right, let's go to Matthew 4:4, and let's get when Christ said that we're not supposed to live by, you know what I'm saying, bread alone, right? But every word that cometh out of Most High's mouth, because you know that's what the Most High has proven us, whether we were following His commandments or not.
Right.
Not whether we would, you know what I'm saying, just take His mercies by, you know what I'm saying, giving us food and raiment, you know what I'm saying, because the Most High feeds us and clothes us. We don't do it on our own. We don't have power like that, right?
Right.
What the brother talking about?
Let me see. You cannot write paragraphs on Periscope. You have limited text. It is hard to communicate. Understood that. You said
It's simple.
false
doctrine.
Yeah, you said false doctrine or something like that. So what is the false doctrine? So like I said, Israelites,
you gotta write a paragraph.
law, statutes, and commandments. So either the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans you say are not the Israelites, okay, or God's laws are done away with, all right, or you're trying to justify the pagan calendar. That's it. That's what we teach.
You ain't gotta write no paragraph to explain that.
Right. We go out in the street and we teach that.
Right. Blacks,
Hispanics, and Native Americans are the Israelites according to Scripture. We have scriptures to prove that. Okay, law, statutes, commandments, and heritage. Laws ain't done away with.
which are the whole duty of man.
Right. And, okay, the moon is the biblical calendar as it is written.
Right.
So anything other than that, you keep it moving. Don't scoff. Okay?
That's all they're doing. He's talking.
That's the bottom line. So a lot of these brothers there's probably some reincarnation or some other old crap that's not a salvational issue.
And which we don't sit on that, man. We don't
teach non-salvational issues. Nationality, heritage, and the Most High's calendar.
Right, man.
That's all that matters. I will post my number. Okay, brother, post your number. We'll get at you.
You gotta do that, bro.
Okay. Matthew chapter 4, verse 4. Right. But he answered and said, it is written, man shall not live by bread alone.
So Christ said, man shall not live by bread alone. Go ahead.
But by every word by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of God.
But by every word that proceeded out of the mouth of God. And what is that? The law, statutes, commandments, which He proved us this day by.
Right.
Right? The whole duty of man. Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 13. You know what I'm saying? Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 6 and 25 real quick.
Righteousness. Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 25.
No, go start at 24.
24. And the Lord commanded us to do all these statutes, to fear the Lord our God. For our God are good always.
Right. He commanded us all these statutes and commandments for our good to observe what? No, let me read it. Go ahead. Read it over. Read it over again, bro.
Deuteronomy 6:24. And the Lord commanded us to do all these statutes.
Go ahead.
To fear the Lord our God.
To fear Him.
For our good always.
For our good always. Because that's the only way you're going to be good, right? Just like the servant had came up to Christ and said, good master, what must I do to inherit the kingdom?
Right.
And He said, why dost thou callest me good? There's only one good. That's God. But you can enter into our life if you keep the commandments. Go ahead.
For our good always, that He might preserve us alive, as it is at this day.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead. And
it shall be our righteousness, if we observe to do all these commandments before the Lord our God, as He hath commanded us.
Right. It shall be our righteousness if we observe to do all His commandments. Not just see and know them. You got to observe them and do them. Right? We're observing everything, right? We got to observe that moon. We observe the count all month. 30-day count. We observe that moon all month, man. You know what I'm saying? To keep that Sabbath at its appointed time. We observe the feast days. Let's go back to 8 and 5.
Deuteronomy chapter 8, verse 5. Thou shalt also consider in thine heart, that as a man chasteneth his son, so the Lord thy God chasteneth thee.
Right. So just as a man chasteneth his son, so does the Most High chasten us, right?
Mm-hmm.
You get out of line, He gonna put you back in order, right? Go ahead.
Verse 6, therefore thou shalt keep the commandments of the Lord thy God, to walk in his ways and to fear him.
Therefore what?
Therefore thou shalt keep the commandments of the Lord thy God, to walk in his ways and to fear him.
Therefore you shall keep the, read it again.
Verse 6, therefore thou shalt keep the commandments of the Lord thy God, to walk in his ways and to fear him.
To walk in his ways is talking about that word. You shall, man cannot live by the bread alone, but by every word that proceeded out of the Most High God's mouth. That's how you walk in his ways.
Right.
In his commandments, laws, statutes, and to fear him. Let's get, you know what I want? Fear is the first step, Rob. It's right. And to fear him, right? He's always stressing that we must fear him.
We're in the book of Sirach, chapter 19, verse 18. The fear of the Lord is the first step to be accepted of him, and wisdom obtaineth his love.
Right. So the fear of the Lord is the first step, right? And what else? Fear is the first step.
The fear is the first step to be accepted of him, and wisdom
of the Lord. That's the only way you can be accepted of the Lord, right? Is to fear him. And wisdom what?
And wisdom obtaineth his love.
Mm-hmm. And wisdom obtaineth his love. Because while you keeping his law, statutes, commandments, right? You gain wisdom, right? The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom and knowledge. It's Proverbs 1:7. That's what it is. All right. So let's go back to Deuteronomy 8 and let's go to 6. Let's go back to 5. Back to 5.
Deuteronomy chapter 8, verse 5. Thou shalt also consider in thine heart.
Thou shalt also consider in thy heart. Go ahead.
That as a man chasteneth his son, so the Lord thy God chasteneth thee.
Right. And let's go to Hebrews 12 and 6. Just as a man chastens his son, so does the Lord thy God chasteneth thee. Only those he loved, though, that keep his laws, statutes, commandments.
We're in the book of Hebrews, chapter 12 and verse 6. For whom the Lord loveth, he chasteneth.
For what?
For whom the Lord loveth, he chasteneth.
So those that keep his laws, statutes, commandments, those are those he loves, right?
And
those he chasteneth. Go ahead.
For whom the Lord loveth, he chasteneth, and scourgeth every son whom he receiveth.
Right.
If ye endure chastening, God dealeth with you as with sons.
But you gotta endure, right? When you've been chastised by the Lord, right? You can't run from that. Don't just turn back to your and fall back into this world, right? And go back a whoring. You know what I'm saying? With a lustful heart after wickedness. Don't go lusting after wickedness. You know what I'm saying? You gotta endure that chastening of the Lord. He beat you down, right? You lose your job, you lose your car, right? You walking now, you riding the bus, right? Endure that chastening of the Lord. Keeping law, statutes, commandments. You know what I'm saying? Keep striving for and walking in his ways. Read the rest of 7.
If ye endure chastening, God dealeth with you as with sons.
Right. If you endure chastening, then he's dealing with you as a son, right? Because he's proving you. He's proving you. That's how the most God is proving you. But you got to keep all his commandments. You can't just keep, you know what I'm saying, most of them in one. You want to do your own, right? Your own will, right? You know what I'm saying? Even though you have knowledge of the appointed time which we shall keep the Sabbath.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You can't just, you know what I'm saying, say, okay, Judges 5 and 11, we rehearsing the righteous acts. And we're going to just keep the Sabbath on a Saturday, right? Because we're in captivity. Nah, man. You got to keep it at its appointed time. It's not of your own will. What we're doing the Father's will. We got to remember that, man. Right? So if you endure chastening, the Most High dealeth with you as he deals with son, right? And that's the end of that.
Verse 7, if ye endure chastening, God dealeth with you as with sons. For what son is he whom the Father chasteneth not?
For what son is he that the Father chastens not, right?
Right.
You're not a son. You're not a son of his, right? That's why I said all Israel is not Israel, right? Because most of them can't endure chastening, right? They think just because you come into the knowledge of this truth, everything is supposed to, you know what I'm saying? Poof, shoot, go. It's supposed to go straight up, like you supposed to, you know what I'm saying? You're supposed to be on top, right? You're supposed to be on top of the heathen, right? You're supposed to be getting stacks, you know what I'm saying? Money, you know what I'm saying? You're supposed to, you know what I'm saying? Have the nicest ride. You're supposed to have the biggest house on the block. No. The Most High don't want you to get comfortable in this captivity. That's what it is, right? You supposed to, you are special people chosen unto him, but you got to endure that chastening, right? He's gonna prove you,
right?
All right, let's go back to first let's get Hebrews 10 and 26. It's 10:26, right?
Sin willfully.
Right, sin willfully.
When the book of Hebrews, chapter 10, verse 26. For if we sin willfully,
right? Meaning you can't endure chastening, right? And go back into after you receive the truth. You know what I'm saying? And know what the law, statutes, commandments, right? And you just want to go and establish your own will. If you sin willfully,
after that we have received the knowledge of the truth.
After we have received the knowledge of the truth, go ahead.
There remaineth no more sacrifice for sins.
There remain no more sacrifice for sins, right? So basically everything you're doing is in vain.
Right.
Let's go back. Deuteronomy 8.
Deuteronomy chapter 8.
Where are we going?
Verse 6.
Okay.
Therefore thou shalt keep the commandments of the Lord thy God, to walk in his ways and to fear him. Mm-hmm. For the Lord thy God bringeth thee into a good land, a land of brooks of water.
A land of brooks of water. You know what I'm saying? Brooks of water, go ahead.
Of fountains.
Of fountains. That sound like those waterfalls, right? Waterfalls, right? Beautiful waterfalls. Go ahead.
And depths that spring out valleys and hills.
Go ahead.
A land of wheat and barley.
Look at all that, man. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna never want nothing, man. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have the fatness of the land. Read. If you keep all the commandments. Go ahead.
A land of wheat and barley and vines and fig trees and pomegranates. A land of oil, olive, and honey.
We don't have that in America, right? Why would you still love this place? How could you get comfortable with this place, man? And try to establish your own righteousness, thinking that, you know what I'm saying, Christ gonna come and set up his kingdom in America. No, we don't want the kingdom over here. We don't want this land.
Right.
We want New Jerusalem, right? A land of wheat and barley. Go ahead.
Wheat and barley and vines and fig trees and pomegranates.
Vines. The vines is the grapes. Or any vine with fruit on it. Fig trees, pomegranates. Go ahead.
A land of oil, olive, and honey. A land wherein thou shalt eat bread without sacredness.
Without scarceness.
Without scarceness.
Right. We never gonna lack bread. Meaning food, period. We never gonna lack food, right? Go ahead.
Thou shalt not lack anything in it.
Oh, I'm telling you, man. Who don't want that, man? But we got to keep all the commandments of the Lord, right? And endure his chastening as sons, right? If you want him to deal with you as sons and daughters. Go ahead.
A land whose stones are iron. And out of whose hills thou mayest dig brass.
So we're gonna have everything, right? All the good pleasant things, right? All the good metals, you know what I'm saying, and gold and silver. We're gonna have everything, man. Go ahead.
When thou hast eaten and art full, then thou shalt bless the Lord thy God for the good land which he hath given thee.
So every bite we're gonna be taking, you know what I'm saying? Because we know we're gonna have the fatness, you know what I'm saying? If we endure to the end and keep law, statutes, commandments, and we get the land, right? Every bite we take, we should want to thank the Lord, right? Every finger you lick, right? Because it's gonna be finger licking good. You gotta thank the Lord. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. I'm telling you, right? Go ahead, read, bro.
Verse Deuteronomy chapter 8, verse 11. Beware that thou forget not the Lord thy God.
Yeah, he made it. Hey, he made it real specific. Beware, caution, right? Caution, man. Beware that you forget not the Lord thy God. Go ahead.
In not keeping his commandments, and his judgments and his statutes, which I command thee this day.
This day don't mean just back then. That still applies to today, man. That still applies today. Go ahead. Verse
12. Lest when thou hast eaten and art full, and hast built goodly houses, and dwelt therein.
Now this is basically talking about now too, right? Lest thou build goodly houses and dwell therein. You came to the knowledge that you're an Israelite, right? You in a nice gated community, probably with nothing but the heathens as well, right?
Right.
And you got a nice rod, a nice house, right? You probably even add on to the house to make that extra bedroom, right? Go ahead.
And when thy herds and thy flocks multiply, and thy silver and thy gold is multiplied.
You got silver and gold in abundance. Go ahead.
And all that thou hast is multiplied.
Everything multiplied. You got three cars, probably maybe even 4. Go ahead.
Then thine heart be lifted up, and thou forget the Lord thy God.
See, that's when you go off, because you get comfortable in this captivity. You forget the Lord thy God. Man, I could, you know what I'm saying, or I got my own business, right? You know what I'm saying? It's convenient for me to make my Sabbath on a Saturday so I can get all my money throughout the week. No matter how it falls at its appointed time, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to keep it on the Sabbath. I'm going to establish my own will. You lift up your heart and forgot the Lord thy God. Read.
Which brought thee forth out of the land of Egypt, from the house of bondage, who led thee through that great and terrible wilderness, wherein were fiery serpents and scorpions and drought.
Right. Who led us through the wilderness, right? Who chastened us. That can go with chastening, right? Enduring chastening, right? When the Most High bring you to a lower state, and then he lift you back up, right? To prove you whether you love him and gonna keep his laws, statutes, commandments, right? Go ahead.
Who led thee through that great and terrible wilderness, wherein were fiery serpents and scorpions and drought, where there was no water. Who brought thee forth water out of the rock of flint?
I mean, you started in the projects. Now you living on in a deluxe apartment in the sky. Go ahead.
Who fed thee in the wilderness with manna, which thy fathers knew not, that he might humble thee, and that he might prove thee.
There you go again. He did it all. He brought you to that little state to humble you. You know what I'm saying? And prove thee, so you wouldn't be so proud and stiff-necked, right? But you forgot the Lord that God kept not his commandment because you grew so proud and hard and arrogant. You know what I'm saying? Thank you. It was all because of you. Go ahead.
And that he might prove thee to do thee good at thy latter end.
Right.
And thou say in thine heart, my power and the might of mine hand hath gotten me this wealth.
What they say in their heart?
And thou say in thine heart, my power and the might of mine hand hath gotten me this wealth.
They say in their heart, you know what I'm saying, their damn degree, their bachelor or master degree, have gotten them this wealth, right? Have gotten them this pharmaceutical job, right? You know what I'm saying? They're working at the damn pharmacy, and they probably grossing out about 75,000 a year, you know, and they think they doing something, right?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's them talking right there. And thou said in thine heart, my power and the might of my hand have gotten me all this wealth. Me this wealth, right? That's what our people say.
Right.
They did it on their own, right? Drake even said it. Drake said it in one of his damn songs, you know what I'm saying? I don't listen, right? I heard it one time. He said, did it all, it's all me. I'm just being for real, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, he think it's all because of him that he got all that, you know what I'm saying, that wealth, right? Verse 18, bro.
18, but thou shalt remember the Lord thy God.
But thou shalt remember. Remember he said back in verse 11, beware thou forget not the Lord thy God. Read it again, bro. Verse 18.
But thou shalt remember the Lord thy God.
But you shall remember the Lord thy God. That's a commandment. You shall remember him. Go ahead.
For it is he that giveth thee power to get wealth.
That's who giveth power to get wealth, right? So we supposed to bless the Most High God and thank him for everything we got, right? Every time we receive something, and every time we eat, right, we supposed to thank him. We supposed to thank the Most High God for not letting us choke on some fried chicken that we had, right? To eat, right? Or whatever food you eat. Go ahead.
For it is he that giveth thee power to get wealth, that he may establish his covenant, which he sware unto thy fathers, as it is this day.
That he may establish his covenant, not your covenant.
Right.
His covenant, not your will. His covenant, which he sware unto thy fathers, as it is this day.
Right.
This day. Go ahead.
And it shall be, if thou do at all forget the Lord thy God, and walk after other gods, and serve them.
Money, you know what I'm saying? Your damn celebrities, or, you know what I'm saying? Even a father figure, right? Or, you know what I'm saying? Your uncle or anybody, right? Or even statues or idolatry images, right? If you serve them and don't serve the Most High God, that's what he's finna make. He's finna make the statement. He's gonna surely show you. Read that from the top again, bro. After you finish that, right? Because
Deuteronomy.
Most High God ain't playing. He constantly repeats himself and lets you know what I'm saying, know that this is serious to keep his laws, statutes, commandments.
Right.
And because he is a jealous God, we're gonna go back to do Exodus chapter 22 after this verse. Go ahead.
Verse 19. And it shall be, if thou do at all forget the Lord thy God, and walk after other gods, and serve them, and worship them, I testify against you this day.
He tested. Okay, go ahead.
That ye shall surely perish.
That ye shall surely what?
Perish.
You shall surely perish, man.
Yep.
Okay.
That's that Baruch 4:1. Those that leave it shall die, right? Exodus 20.
Yeah. Let's start at 3.
Exodus chapter 20, verse 3. Thou shalt have no other gods before me.
Right, and let's go to 5, verse 5.
Verse 5. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them.
See, these other gods we shouldn't have before the Most High God, nor we shouldn't even call them equal to him, right? And we shall not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. So it ain't just a bowing down. You can't serve other gods either. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
For I, the Lord thy God, am a jealous God.
He is what?
For I, the Lord thy God, am a jealous God.
Go ahead.
Visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children, unto the 3rd and 4th generation of them that hate me.
See, he's not only visiting the father, he's visiting your children too. You know what I'm saying? For generations on end, man. That's how mad you'll make the Most High God for serving these other gods, right? You know what I'm saying? Or idolizing damn money, material, paper, right? Or these celebrities, or some father figure or mother figure, right? More than the Most High God. The Most High God is a jealous God, man. We shall therefore remember the Most High God, right?
Right.
But thou shalt remember the Lord thy God. That's what verse 18 say. Let's read. Let's go finish up. Let's read 19 again, bro.
Deuteronomy chapter 8, verse 19. And it shall be, if thou do at all forget the Lord thy God, and walk after other gods, and serve them, and worship them, I testify against you this day, that ye shall surely perish.
So his testifying is meaning it's surely, you know what I'm saying? That's prophecy there, man. Like he signified that, right, with his signature. I testify against thee this day that you will surely perish. That you shall surely perish. Ain't gonna be no maybe or a slap on the wrist. Right. Don't do it no more. You shall surely perish, man. Right? You're headed for everlasting damnation. Go ahead, read verse 20.
Verse 20. As the nations which the Lord destroyed before your face, so shall ye perish.
Just like the nation that he'll destroy before you. You will perish just like them, right?
Right.
There's going to be a lot of our brothers and sisters that going to go up in flames, right along with Babylon, these damn Romans, or I call them pilgrims, right?
Sure.
These goddamn pilgrims that came over here, and that's throughout the world, right? These heathens, our enemies, right? Read it again, bro.
Verse 20. As the nations which the Lord destroyed before your face.
So just as these other nations, go ahead.
So shall ye perish, because ye would not be obedient unto the voice of the Lord your God.
Because you would not be obedient to his voice, right? Most High God ain't gonna open up the cloud and tap you on your shoulder and talk to you.
Right.
He's talking through this paper trail he left, right? This Holy Bible. Because man cannot live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds out of the Most High God's mouth. So that's what we teach, man. We teach laws, statutes, commandments, which is our heritage, right? Nationality, right?
Right.
And that, you know what I'm saying, the count, right? According to the moon, right? The appointed times, right? Feast days and the Sabbath according to its appointed times. That's what we teach, man. We teach the whole duty of man. As a matter of fact, we're going to get that. They can't close out.
One whole duty of man. Let's get it. We're in the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 12 and verse 13. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter.
Right. This is what it sums all up to. This is what it sums up to. The Most High God has repeated this and repeated this throughout this Bible through the mouth of his holy prophets. Because once again, he's not going to come tap you on your shoulder or knock on your door. You know what I'm saying? Or it's not going to be televised on TV. Right? You know what I'm saying? You got, hey, man, the brothers is on the streets bringing this out. Brothers all on YouTube. It's all on Facebook, man. You know what I'm saying? The Most High God is pouring his spirit out everywhere, right? Nobody can say we didn't know nothing about keeping no laws, statutes, commandments. Nobody can say that, right? Read it again from the top, bro.
Ecclesiastes chapter 12 and verse 13. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God.
Which is step one to be received of the Most High God. Right.
And keep his commandments.
And keep his commandments.
For this is the whole duty of man.
And that's it right there, man. That's the whole duty of man. So why would we teach all these, you know what I'm saying? Even though we do try to, you know what I'm saying, we sit down sometimes and we try to go through some dark, you know what I'm saying, deep scriptures, you know what I'm saying? But we don't teach that, you know what I'm saying, on the streets, right? We teach that whole duty of man on the street. We teach that in classes too, the whole duty of man. And according to that moon, right? We teach that. That's according, right? The biblical calendar. You know what I'm saying? We teach the Sabbath and the feast days are, you know what I'm saying, which are the appointed solemn feast days. We teach that as the appointed times, right? According to the biblical calendar, which is the moon. Sirach chapter 43, verse 6 through 8. Leviticus chapter 23. We're saying that's my class, right? Deuteronomy chapter 8.
Chapter 8.
And I'm Brother Malak, this Brother Amos, right? Once again, we're One West Tampa Israelites, 10921 North 56th Street, Suite 258. All right. Tampa, Florida, 33617. And hopefully the brother left his number on there, because we will get back with that brother. We ain't going to just leave that brother hanging, right? Because we want to know what false doctrine we teaching, right?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. We're saying that. Closed out on day 17. It's day 18. We're going into 5th month. Right? Shalom.
Shalom, grace and peace.
Grace and peace. Be quiet, bro.